Hey, I want to welcome you to the Rise of the 1% podcast, where you're going to discover the strategies, the tools, and the insights to dominate and get to the top 1% of your industry. This is Gerald Bass alongside me, JC Williams.
Yes, sir, man. What's going on, G? How you doing?
Doing great. How about yourself?
Man, I'm doing awesome, man. So I'm excited us to just go ahead and hop right in and get into this topic.
Absolutely.
So, we actually hit on the last podcast about goal setting.
Right.
All right. Then we went into habits.
Right.
Now we're going to talk about the skills that you must master as entrepreneurs.
Right.
All right. So we're going to dive right into it. And we're going to talk about this money.
Absolutely.
So we understand one of the first skills that you must master is knowing how to raise capital.
Right.
All right. So what I wanted to ask you, G, is what are some of the key components that you feel like you have to have a profitable business?
I say it all boils down to this. Really, for one, you definitely got to have a great product, service that actually solves a particular problem within a certain market.
Absolutely.
And then outside of that, I would definitely say understanding how to get that product in front of people, which that key component is marketing.
Mm-hmm.
And also being able to not just get in front of people, but convert those people over to paying customers or clients by you helping them solve problems, which is sales. And that's what I would say in terms of the profitability of a business is that.
Right. And then also too, just to hit on that, G, also just understanding the legal aspects of your business. All right. No matter if you have a brick and mortar business or whatever it is, you got to understand that certain things may have zonings. And you gotta understand the legal aspects of things, because if you don't, then you'll be out of business too.
Right.
And so definitely you hit on a lot of other good key components when you come down to marketing, communication, having a great product, and all that. So definitely, and I would add on this. This is another thing that I feel like is a key component that you need to know how to do, and that's cash flow management. That means knowing how to actually doing financial statements.
Right.
All right. Knowing, what is your basically, we want to talk about, I always like to use this as the quadrant with Robert Kiyosaki when he has the business, the B and the I, and then the S and the E.
Right.
All right, but also you talk about your assets and the liabilities.
Right.
So I look at liabilities, overhead, knowing how to cut that down, as you move along.
Right.
We understand that first starting off that your overhead, if you don't have a coach or a mentor, or you don't have a actual blueprint that you can follow, it can actually be high, because you can get in a lot of things and pay for a lot of things that you don't have no knowledge about,
right.
And can be losing money.
Right.
But so knowing how to actually manage that,
exactly,
it's a very key component.
Exactly.
Yep. So the next question, G, I want to ask you is, how can you design a profitable business model?
Like I said, key component, first of all, is definitely having a great product.
Mm-hmm.
Great product that definitely solves a big problem within whatever market that you are serving. I would say another thing too is niching down. A lot of times people go fairly broad in terms of the market that they're actually serving. So I would definitely say find a specific niche.
Yeah, definitely.
Industry that you can actually serve, either one.
Right.
I will also say, once again, get back to it. You definitely got to know how to get that product or that service in front of the market. So it goes back to marketing, and then of course, like I say, sales. But also, I would say you got to know how to build a team too. If you really want to build a profitable business as well, you can't just stay in solopreneur land. You got to learn how to recruit great talent as well.
Right. And it's funny because a lot of these things that we're going to actually talk about a little bit more deeper when we go further into the podcast.
Right.
So I definitely agree with that.
And leadership too of that particular team.
Definitely.
Right.
Definitely. And one of the key components too is just like what you said about knowing your actual niche.
Right.
Having that the specialty.
Right.
And when you understand what you really specialize in, that's when you get the most out of your business.
Exactly.
All right. So also, I do want to go back to, knowing basically, when we talk about specialties and, you know, then the most out of your business, see, that goes in knowing what produces income too.
Right.
All right. So, like I brought up about the quadrant and, you know, knowing what your assets are and your liabilities. But see, that's what you really want to understand is what are the assets that it is that you have with your business.
Right.
And that goes with a lot of also too going in and researching your competitors.
Right.
All right. And researching your competitors, know who's all in your market, who's all doing similar what you're doing. And what you got to do is you got to look at your business and see how you can stand out.
Exactly.
There's some key books that, you know, I have read that actually has helped me come up with great ideas on how to stand out. And one of the books that I will say is Blue Ocean Strategy.
Right.
So you guys, you definitely could look that up. Blue Ocean Strategy.
Exactly.
And also too, we got some more books that we'll probably put down in the show notes as we come. Because at this moment, I just can't really think of them all. But there's a lot of great books that you can use out there.
Right.
All right. So that's number one we want to talk about. That's the number one skill I feel like you should need is knowing how to get to the money, knowing how to raise capital.
Exactly.
All right.
And one thing that I did speak on as well in terms of a profitable business, which is this all boils down to marketing and sales as well, is knowing your numbers. You gotta know your numbers when it comes to your particular business as well, which is I speak to a great amount of business owners on a weekly basis on strategy session calls, and when I ask them like what type of revenue that particular business is bringing in on a monthly basis and what some of their goals in terms of what type of income and revenue goals they're looking to accomplish, a lot of times some of them can't really tell me much.
All right.
So you gotta know your numbers as well. That's also part of creating a profitable business. So I wanted to make sure we hit on that.
Absolutely. And as we going down, you know, the line, you know, I do have some notes here that I'm going to talk about. So a lot of this stuff that you already hit on. So we're gonna follow back up to it. So the next thing, the next skill that I feel like is so vital for you to master is knowing how to persuade.
Right.
And I'm gonna start off with you, G, just asking you, what type of people do you feel like you have to persuade when, you know, in your business or when you first start off?
First off, you gotta persuade yourself. You gotta believe in yourself and persuade yourself. Mm-hmm. That's the first thing you gotta do in terms of that you actually believe in this particular product or service that you're looking to market, right? So you have to first of all believe in yourself and believe in the product or service that you're marketing. That's the first thing. And then in terms of others that you persuade, of course, you got to be able to persuade in terms of your marketing to get them to purchase your product or service. And then as well, you got to be able to persuade in terms of getting others to buy into your particular vision too. Right. Whether that's hiring people or even if you're searching for investors, etc.
Right. I definitely agree. And I remember so vividly when you first brought me into network marketing and didn't know any idea what the hell that was, you know. And,
right.
You know, I did my research. I looked it up. I seen a lot of like negative reviews, and then I seen a lot of positive reviews. Right. All right. A lot of this played on my psyche, you know, coming in. So, but what I knew was how I was as a person. I know that I'm a hustler. So I feel like if you was doing it, then I could do it.
Right.
All right. And then I seen other successful people doing it, then I knew I could do it.
Exactly.
Because I had belief in myself.
Exactly.
So that is the first person that you have to really persuade. Is yourself.
Right.
And then once you really conquer that, then definitely you could go after your warm market, your family, your friends.
Right.
You know, you want to start off with them, go ahead and get through that because, you know, a lot of times they not going to support you.
Exactly.
It's quite a few entrepreneurs out there that have family and friends that really support them when they come up with new ideas or new things. Because, you know, my mom, she be like, oh, here you go again. What new venture you got going on now? I be like, so it's just what you go through, all right?
Right.
And then also knowing how to persuade customers, all right? And then customers, investors, you know, them understanding your vision and everything. So one of the things that I want to just hit on, what I feel like is a key component to persuasion, is having a great work ethic.
True.
So I want to ask, can you hit on that a little bit? Like, what is a great work ethic to you?
a great work ethic to me is doing what's required to get the goal accomplished, no matter what that is. No matter if it requires you getting up early, no matter if it requires you staying up late. It's basically going hard until the job is accomplished and accomplished in a great manner. Going over and beyond too, to me, is a great work ethic. You know, not just doing the minimum,
right? And
exceeding expectations.
And see, and that's not even an actual skill. See,
right?
The thing that you talking about right there about the work ethic, that's mindset.
Right, exactly.
So your beliefs have to align with your work.
Right.
You know what I mean? With your ethics, you know?
Exactly.
So it's like when you want to go into business with people, or even when you sharing your vision, people first gonna look at what you do.
Right.
All right. So that has to line up.
Exactly.
So that's one of the things. Now, so that's number 2, is knowing how to persuade.
Right.
Okay. Number 3 is, I feel like you have to master as an entrepreneur, is being organized.
Yeah.
Okay. So one of the things about being organized, you have to be able to put together a business plan.
Right.
Okay. Now I have a way on how to put a business plan together. All right, I would share that.
Okay.
I want to get your insight about it, G. And I know this is kind of referencing back to when we was talking about goal setting or whatever, because that goes into your business plan.
Right.
But just to hit on again, like, how would you put a business plan together?
Yeah. So for me, I don't put together your traditional or conventional type of business plan. Like these different business plans they have online that you can model and stuff like that. I don't necessarily do that. For me, it's basically setting your specific goals for your particular business, whatever that may be, right? Whether that's a customer and client goal, whether that's a revenue goal, whether that's expanding the team, whether that's making the product better, your service better, whatever goals that you may have for your particular business, and then mapping out the actions,
steps
that it's going to take to accomplish those different goals. That's pretty much what a business plan is to me.
Absolutely. And I agree, G. It's not I know that I hear a lot of people get so technical.
Right, exactly.
And they be having different things online on how to do a business plan and stuff like that, which I never really took a look into it.
Right.
I have had people share business plans with me, and sometimes some of the business plans I have looked at, I have got lost because I ain't even understand what is they even talking about, you know.
Right.
So, you know, I ain't gonna get too deep in that, but just to hit on that, you know, I feel like that's what a business plan is. It's just you understand it. Like, okay, business plan to me is you putting down what are your financial goals, all right? What are your business goals?
Right.
What are your health goals?
Right.
What are your what is your spiritual goals?
Right.
All right. Also, too, what is your personal development goals?
Right.
All these are essential to you having a profitable business.
Right.
All right. So the way I do it is you put those categories when you're talking about business, family, health, personal development, spiritual. You have all those different categories, right?
Right.
So then you put down 3 habits in each category that you will do.
Right.
All right. To match up to the goals that you have. All right. In each category. Then after you finish, right, after the year is ended and you go back, because this is something that you should look at every single day.
Right.
All right, this same thing that we said back when goal setting, when you write your goals, because it's the same thing. This is a plan that you follow every single day.
Right.
And when you look back, if you see that you haven't, let's say that you haven't hit over 50% of those goals, well, you know what you need to do then.
Right. You have to change some things.
You gotta change some things.
Right.
All right.
Exactly.
So this is so essential. All right. Like I said, this is something I can feel like it's a skill that you must have.
Right.
All right.
Right.
That you must master. Now, number 4, I believe that we're on. All right. Number 4, we're gonna talk about another skill that you must master is sales.
Right.
All right. So I want to ask you, G, how do you improve your sales process and increase your business?
Yeah, so a lot of people go wrong with sales is they're too busy focusing on the close. versus really diagnosing people's problems and being able to discover if you really can help them solve that particular problem. So I would say, for one, you need a script when it comes to sales. Whether it's you or you have a sales team, etc., the script needs to be in place.
Okay.
Now, when you have a script in place, when it comes to selling your particular product or service over the telephone, etc., okay, your salespeople or even you don't want to just sound like you're reading from a script. You don't want to sound robotic, I should say. You want to still have it in the form of a conversation, right? Having good conversations. And like I said, if you focus on really building that rapport with people, whether, like I said, if you're selling over the phone, etc., your particular products and services, and you focus on diagnosing their problems, and if you can solve their problems, offering a solution, which is your product or service, if you focus on that, you'll do well.
Right.
Also understanding too, when it comes to sales, that a lot of times you do have to go through numbers. Okay? You may have to face a great amount of rejection at times.
Right.
It's like that. But you just have to continue going.
Right. So just to hit on that, I remember this the first time. Now, of course, being in the streets or you hustling something, you just doing sales. You don't even know like this whole strategy on what you're doing.
Right.
You know, you just learn what you see what other people do or whatever, whatnot. Now, when you got me into the sales market, all right, when we was actually selling a product, same thing, and it was like we focus on prospecting, and you started me off with a script. You used to have this script, and yeah, you know, and so I agree with that. So it was like, you know, you don't want to sound robotic. We was down. I was, you know, reading this script, going through the numbers, because we said we wanted to start off with our warm market. We wanted to put. We want to start off with at least 100 people,
names,
100 names, 100 names and numbers that you want to call.
Exactly.
And I know a lot of times people be like, oh, I don't know 100 people or whatever or not. Now you got 100 numbers. You can come up with 100 numbers. if you really believe in what you're selling, or you really want to make money, you'll come up with 1,000 numbers if you need to.
I agree.
So, you know, knowing how to prospect and see. One of the things is like you got to go through those numbers and you're going to get rejection. Right. So the main thing part of sales too is the follow up. All right. And customer relationships, building a rapport. Right. And see, that's what I feel like it's so essential that people forget about. Taking a cold market and how to convert them into a warm market. Right. One element or one strategy I would say that you can do if you want to convert people over to a warm market. When you first knowing how to approach them, one way you can approach them is just say you have a list that you got some prospects or whatnot. Instead of going off and just pitching them your product or idea, you can actually send them like different cards. All right, like cards telling them a little bit about your product or just sharing information, giving value. All right, and that's what we always say that you lead into. Right. Is always giving value.
Exactly. I agree.
All right. So there's some of the things that I feel like that you need to do to master sales. You know, knowing how to prospect. All right. Knowing how to, of course, definitely know how to close. But if you don't close, you got to understand how to follow up.
Right. Fortune's in the follow up.
Yeah. I agree. Fortune's in the follow up. Right. Build rapport. All right. Right. And, you know, have them relations. And then also don't forget to ask for referrals. Right. That's what a lot of times people mess up on too. Right. When it comes down to sales.
Exactly.
It's asking for referrals.
I agree.
All right. So that's number 4. And we're gonna move right along here. All right. Yes. And the next thing we're gonna talk about is number 5, knowing how to leverage. All right. Let me just ask you this, G. What are some of the things that you feel like you need to know or you need to leverage in business?
Yeah, I would definitely say you need to understand how to leverage your time. That's definitely a key component. One of my mentors shared with me in one of the first coaching programs I was in, said if you're cutting your own grass, you're robbing an 18-year-old of a summer job, right? If you believe you're worth more than $10 to $15 an hour, why are you doing $10 to $15 hour worth of work, right?
Exactly.
And so with that being said, now I know you may be listening to this podcast and saying, you know, right now I'm not in a place to be able to pay people to do all these different type of things for me in terms of outsourcing, right? Well, yeah, that goes back to having a winning product that solves a problem, understanding how to market it, make sales, and make more money so you can get to that place in terms of outsourcing a lot of different things. But like I said, in terms of leverage, definitely being able to leverage your time and being able to, like I said before, bring on other people that are talented in different areas that can help in different parts of your particular business, being able to leverage their time and efforts, positioning them to be able to make money with your particular company.
Right. I feel like that's, again, essential for you to scale up. You got to be able to have a team.
Exactly.
And a team is going to be able to leverage other people's strengths.
Right.
And so that is very key.
Very key. Right.
So knowing how to leverage, having a team, knowing how to recruit, and that's why I said I felt like we're gonna get back to this because you said it earlier. I was like, yeah, just wait. We get back on going down in the podcast. Right. It's something that I feel like is the main thing. Knowing how to do is knowing how to recruit.
Right.
All right. Another thing you want to leverage, like you said, like you want to outsource things. You want to outsource software. You want to outsource maybe technology.
Right.
All right. You understand that, starting off, you may not have a lot of money.
Right.
And it's ways that you can do things even when you're working on short of income.
Right.
I would say this, one of the things that I did when it came down to things that came down to software, technology, when it comes down to websites and all them type of things, what I do is I use Fiverr. All right. Fiverr is like one of those key sources that you can use.
Right. Low as $5.
Low as $5 that you need.
Right.
So $5. Okay, you go maybe use like three people that can do one product and see who does the best. Right. And then you continue that relationship with them.
Right.
All
exactly.
Right. So that's a big thing. Also too, we all understand with the times that we're in. You need social media.
Right.
All right. If you don't have your product or business out there on social media, you're bound to lose.
Right.
So that's
I definitely agree on that.
Right. So, this is some of the things that, we'll definitely get a little bit more into because we have the expert right here next to me on social media. Yeah. So we'll definitely have more episodes where we'll get a little bit more deeper into that.
Definitely.
All right. And then knowing how to brand yourself.
Right.
All right. Like I said, that goes back to you can leverage on people who can brand you.
Right.
All right. People that can help you with your marketing, your advertising, all that type of thing. So these are all the key elements that you need when it comes down to leverage.
Right. I agree.
All right. So that's number 5. So moving right along, and this is the last one that I have as a skill that you must master, which you kind of hit on this a little bit already, and this is time management.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Right? So I want to ask you, so this is how can you learn how to do certain tasks faster?
Okay. Well, I would tell you this is definitely eliminating a lot of distractions. That's what I would say. A lot of times, people are wasting time gossiping on the phone with people, or wasting time looking on social media all day, or wasting time looking at the news, or just staying into space, right? Just wasting time.
Right.
I would say basically eliminate all distractions, and pretty much, if it's something that usually takes you 45 minutes to an hour to get done, see if you can get it done 30 minutes or less. Right. See if it's another way you maybe can do it to get it done a whole lot quicker and be a lot more efficient with your time.
Exactly.
That's what I would say.
And I just feel like it's just like it's a skill. Time management is a skill.
Exactly.
It's just like when you're working out. When you first start off, you kind of start slow. It kind of takes you a little bit longer. Right. But you need to challenge yourself. You actually need to keep records of what you're doing. Right. So, if I'm lifting weights and I'm like, okay, I want to increase my strength. So we know we're gonna do this for maybe a day or two. Right. All right. get my endurance up, and then we're gonna keep moving up.
Right.
So this same thing goes to when it comes down to time management, when it comes down to your tasks, or what you're doing in your business.
Right.
So one of the, this is something that's instilled in my head when I think. All right, now, yes, we did this as like automatic when we was heavy in sales, when we had to really make a lot of sale calls,
right,
or whatnot. I used to know we used to have a conference call set at this time, right?
Right.
And I used to be like, okay, I had to make these many calls before this conference call.
Right.
So I just pick up the phone, get an answer, hang up, dial another number, keep going, and I just focus on that one task until I got it done.
That's it.
And
focus is key.
Focus, and like it's so key. And one of the movies that stands out to me, that's like I said, it's instilled in my head, is Pursuit of Happiness. When I think about Will Smith, when he was making those sale calls.
Right.
And see, the thing is, he didn't even hang up. You know what I mean? Right. He just hit the little hang up button, boom, go back dialing. All right, and then just keep going. So when he said he used to go through 50 to 100 people like less than 10 minutes, where everybody took them like an hour to do.
Exactly.
You know, so knowing how to cut down the time on your task is so critical, and that's a skill that you need to master, and that you will do it over time.
Absolutely,
man.
Yeah, I remember in that movie he was saying too, he didn't drink any water because he didn't want to be going to the restroom, all that type of stuff. Yeah,
right.
Yeah, so he was real stern on that. Yeah,
exactly. All right, so we're going into the next segment, of the podcast, which we're going to talk about our 1%er of the week.
Okay.
So definitely this individual that we're going to talk about, that we're going to present to you guys, he has impacted my life in many ways. He's a motivational speaker. He's one of the top business professionals when it comes down to advice. Across the
personal
world.
Development as well.
Yeah, definitely with the personal development. This is someone I listen to religiously on a daily. So our 1% of the week that we want to present to you guys is Mr. Jim Rohn.
Jim Rohn, give it up.
Absolutely. So what we're gonna do here, we're just gonna play a small segment, and we'll be back with you.
Absolutely.
Here's the big challenge of life. You can have more than you've got because you can become more than you are. That's the challenge. And of course, the other side of the coin reads, unless you change how you are, you'll always have what you got. I have found in my experience that income does not far exceed personal development. Now, sometimes income takes a lucky jump, but sure enough, unless you grow out where it is, it'll usually come back where you are. Life has strange ways. If somebody hands you $1 million, best you become a millionaire quickly, so you get to keep the money. Otherwise, sure enough, it'll disappear. Somebody once said, if you took all the money in the world, divided it up equally among everybody, it would soon all be back in the same pockets. Incredible. Success is something you attract, not something you pursue. Success is looking for a good place to stay. So instead of going after it, you work on yourself. Personal development. See, the major question to ask on the job is not what are you getting? The major question to ask on the job is, what are you becoming? See, the big question is not what am I getting paid here? The big question is, what am I becoming here? Because true happiness is not contained in what you get. Happiness is contained in what you become.
All right. So one of the things I wanted to talk about with Jim Rohn, he always talked about skills too. Mm-hmm. And one of the things he was like, I always took with me that he says that in the your value in the marketplace depends on what type of skills that you have. All right. So if you're working at a fast food restaurant, all right, and that's you get paid what so much an hour. That just depends on what type of skill you have.
Yep. Skills, type of value you bring to the hour.
Right. And then you say, hey, maybe you do it with a smile, they may give you a raise.
Right.
For $1. So definitely I always took that with me. Is always you have to be working on yourself. The better that you are, the better value that you be able to give to the world, the more money that you bring.
Right. And a couple quotes that I'll say that stuck with me from Jim Rohn is one, he said that formal education will make you a living. Self-education will make you a fortune. And so I always remember that stuck with me over the years, because there's a lot of people that have a lot of formal education and they're just making a living, which is nothing wrong with that if that's what you choose to do. But for people that really want to go on to create bigger impact here in this world and go on to potentially create a fortune for them and their families and even go on to create wealth, their self-education. They're continuously educating themselves even after the years they may have went to school or whatever the case may be. They're constantly growing.
Absolutely.
Life is a life learning process.
Right.
And another thing, even relevant to some of the things that we just spoke on this podcast, in terms of, like you were saying, time management is one of the skills. Is he says, someone asked him, when should you start your day? He says, as soon as it's finished. So basically, he's talking about planning your day a day ahead and putting it on paper, right? And that also helps with time management as well, right? Planning your day a day ahead, writing everything out on paper, scheduling all your tasks.
Right.
So that's what I remember. Some of the things that I remember from hearing from Jim Rohn.
Right. So my audience out there, if you haven't really listened to Jim Rohn as much, that's someone that you definitely would like to check into. And like I said, this is something I do religiously. Right. He just to start off my day with a lot of his lectures, just like it gets your mindset right. So definitely that's part of my morning routine. So that's great. These are the skills that you must master.
Exactly.
All right, and we'll go back through them once again. We talked about number one was what? Raising money, raising capital.
Raising capital, getting some moolah.
Yes, sir. And then number two, we were talking about knowing how to persuade.
Key.
And then number three, being organized. Having your business plan. All right. Something that you look at every single day.
Exactly.
All right. When you're taking a shower, look at your business plan.
Right. Absolutely.
Keep it on your mind. All right. And then knowing how to master sales. Okay. Yeah. So there's so many elements to it. And like I said, we'll have more podcasts that go deeper into each area that we're talking about.
Exactly.
And then number 5, knowing how to leverage. Okay. I do want to hit on this again because it's so critical when you come down to the quadrant. All right. You have to be in the I side. To be in the I side is leverage. But when you're on the E and the S side, you are not leveraging. So if you're just self-employed, you may be an entrepreneur, but you self-employed. If you really want to grow, if you really want to have more time, you need to understand how to leverage and grow a team and know how to recruit. Right. All right. And then the last one that, is just key. Well, we got to keep hitting on it. It's time management.
Time management, right.
Awesome. So that's the 6 skills that we came up today, that you must master as an entrepreneur to get to the level of the 1%.
There it is, 1%.
So, G, you got anything else, want to hit on?
Yeah, so I would definitely say this is definitely a great podcast going over those different skills. Definitely take these skills, make sure you write them down, and apply them. Yeah, because knowledge is not power, it's applied knowledge is power. Take these different skills and apply them. If you already apply them, see how you can get better at applying them. All right? And also, if you are an entrepreneur or aspiring entrepreneur or even a business owner, and you're looking to grow to the next level in terms of your business, your income, and your lifestyle, make sure you go over to www.theriseoftheone%.com, and we have some training material over there on the site. Also, more information on our Rise of the 1% Academy, where we help entrepreneurs and business owners just like yourself dominate and get to the top 1% of your industry. Besides that, make sure if you got value out of this podcast, you actually give us a 5-star rating. 5-star rating. Make sure you subscribe to our podcast and our YouTube channel as well, so you're notified every time we drop valuable content like this. And also, drop in the comments below some of your biggest takeaways that you actually got from this podcast. What are some things that you actually got out of this?
Right.
And feel free to share it around with anyone else you feel could benefit.
Absolutely. So anything that you feel that you want to talk about or you feel like you want to work on, make sure that you drop a comment and let us know.
Absolutely. There it is. So with that said, this was definitely great. JC?
Yes, sir.
Absolutely. And with that said, we definitely look forward to seeing you on the next episode. And definitely look forward to seeing you in the 1%. Have a great day on purpose.